Hey, how's it going, everybody? I have Elliot Critchfield here. He's a senior manager at Experior Financial Group. He's been with us now for about 3 months. Elliot, do you want to give just a little bit of background on yourself, what you do, and stuff like that?
So, I mean, past life, I was in the military for about 7 years. I progressed into corporate America, had a successful career in sports, entertainment, premium hospitality. I used to run sales in the NBA for Denver Nuggets, got to executive VP, and then got into entrepreneurship. So started the industry, financial services, part-time. And after about 14 months part-time in the industry, was able to separate from corporate America and been running the business full-time now for probably about a year and a half at this point.
Nice, bro. Nice. Yeah, so you definitely have a lot of experience in your field. I remember when I met you, it took you, I know we were kind of talking a lot of back and forth. You had seen us, you'd seen some of our work, some of our marketing, what we've done for like other clients and stuff like that. What really drove you, bro, to get this thing like started of like, trying to use social media to grow your business?
I mean, I think at the beginning you have to learn skill sets and disciplines and just the business in general, right? To kind of figure out the entire process, the structures, the systems, the
Yeah.
products, the services, all those things. But then at the end of the day, it gets to a certain point if you're, call it more of a builder in our industry, where the days of like the outreach and the cold DMs and the prospecting sometimes becomes a little bit monotonous, right? So I'd actually reached out to some other individuals that were at my practice company that were doing very well on the building and the recruiting side of the business, and just kind of reached out and picked their brain. And lo and behold, that's how we met. And I think what I heard about you guys, Dylan, was that in the day, there's a lot of people call it in social media that, hey, I run an agency or a marketing company or whatever, where, yeah, from the outside looking in, it's flashy, it's
Yeah.
attractive, maybe a good brand. What I appreciate about you guys is you had the results, right? So, like, for all intents and purposes, I had really pursued you guys after understanding that someone that I looked up to in the industry was having the results that I was looking to achieve,
Right.
right? And having the ability to do that without just my own type of work for all intents and purposes, right? My own activity.
Right.
It's the many hands make light work type of situation. So that's how we kind of got introduced,
Nice.
and started our conversations probably at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And through that process, man, what I appreciate about you guys, the results were there,
100%.
right? Before I even took the leap to jump on board.
Right. Nice, bro. And right before you move forward with us, like what did your day-to-day life look like as far as growing the company? Were you buying lists? Like kind of talk to us about that.
Yeah, I've done some like little list stuff in the past, to be honest, like with not much results. I built the majority of my business through cold social media. And I know in the industry, typically it's much more, call it referral basis or warm or hot market for all intents and purposes. For one reason or another, me coming from a past life of corporate America and having that identity for a decade plus as another industry person, right? Zero experience in financial services, I went the cold route. So it was a lot of DMs, a lot of outreach, a lot of automation and stuff on my side where any day I was doing okay, whatever okay means.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was ready to scale and really to spend my time more focusing on what I do best, and that's the training and development and leadership of our newest agents to build out our agency, to not necessarily be solely relying on myself.
Sure. Yeah, man. And you kind of touched on it already, but I did want to highlight this question. Like, how did the outreach and like all that time-consuming tasks like have an impact on your business?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was limited results for all intents and purposes for my year full time, right? Like we were getting to where we wanted to go, but in any day in any business in any industry, when you're primarily dealing in cold,
Mm,
right? And you're the one that is essentially pursuing that individual. At
mm,
the end of the day, like your results are going to be a little bit more limited. Like you're going to have to run through high numbers, high volume
sure.
in order to get the same results if you're more so attracting the I use the word leads, but you get it leads for all intents and purposes.
Right. And now that, you've moved forward with us, you've been with us for a few months now, for a short period of time. How have things changed? Like, can you kind of talk to us about that experience of like the value you've gotten so far up until this point?
I mean, look, I think at the end of the day, when you look at someone getting involved with a partnership like this, there is a little bit of the skepticism and maybe fear on the outside, right? Of like, okay, like, hey, is this going to actually work? Because like you're putting some investment into that, right? But we also, my firm went through a transition from changing from one broker dealer to another at the same time. So life was kind of crazy
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes. Now, flash forward, look 3 months in, I think what I appreciate about you guys is we got very in the weeds and understanding me as a person and what would work best as far as my brand, my message, my outreach,
Mhm.
rather than a copy and paste strategy that you would typically see in your all's world, right? We got to the core of like, hey, what's going to drive the best results for me? So um as far as numbers and stuff like that, I mean, through limited results, where we say 3 months, but really it's been 3 weeks, a month since we've really just turned on the lever for all intents and purposes. We're at 50 plus applications at this point. Half of those converted into a one-on-one meeting with myself. We've enrolled roughly 10 agents in our firm already, with more and more coming in at this point. So as far as where my business was, call it 90 days ago to where it is now, I mean, we're exploding for all intents and purposes. And I think with our platform and our broker dealer and the partnership with Experior, it's much more, call it friendly for all intents and purposes for the newest agent to get on board with us, get essentially ingrained in the licensing process, go through all those things.
Right.
So we're off and running, man. I mean, we're looking at, for all intents and purposes, me doubling my business by the end of the year.
It's
And we're
fantastic.
filming this at the end of October.
Yeah, Elliot. So one thing about you, bro, is you are like a spectacular client to work with. Like I'm being very honest when I say that. There is, and from my end, it really does looks like when I get the branding from Elliot Critchfield, the first thing that comes to mind is disciplined. Like you're never complaining about, oh, like why did this not happen? Like anytime we told you, like, hey, bro, we got to repivot this, you weren't like whining and complaining. It was like, okay, okay, yeah, let's tell me what I gotta do. And then we would be like, yo, bro, we gotta. I know there was a couple of times that we had to redo some stuff, like probably two or three times. I didn't hear one complaint from you, bro. And that is just rare to find in a human overall. I think that military background you had is just it really, really set in stone the discipline and just like your execution, I think is a really big reason why, you saw so much success. What do you think is the reason why? Now, let me ask you, right? What do you think is the reason why you found success in this? Because, bro, marketing takes time. True marketing, like not like the sexy fake stuff that people try to sell. Like true marketing takes time to refine, as you know. Like, what do you think you've been doing on your end that's just been crushing it, bro? Because like this is crazy.
First off, I appreciate that. That's, I know sometimes you question yourself, so to hear that from an external source is reassuring sometimes. But here's where I come from a sales and marketing background, right? So I think one, I can filter through what's a true recommendation or someone that's just trying to get like their own type of benefit out of it. So I can tell that you guys have my best interest in mind as we're going through it. So that's call that one. But two, man, I think when he looks at like successful marketing, I'll say it this way. It's probably a better way to frame it. I think a lot of people out there on social or whatever your source, your outlet is,
Mhm.
they try to think of like, hey, well, what does the customer or the lead or the prospect want to hear? Where I think you guys do a great job of like, hey, sometimes that message has to be for the person that's giving the message.
Mhm.
Meaning, like one of our mentors in life talk about you're the most qualified to help perform a version of yourself, right? Where if you're in my position and you're trying to market to the masses and you're saying a certain message that you think they just want to hear, it's going to fall on deaf ears. But if
Mhm.
you make the message for yourself, think about it, like you or your former you, how many people are just like what you used to be
Right.
in your past life?
Right.
You are now the most qualified person to help them. Why? You've been through what they've been through,
Right.
right? So that automatically gives you the source of credibility that, hey, this person has done what I'm looking to do.
Right.
That is source,
Sure.
right?
Sure.
And then after that, now it's just okay, you got to be able to back up the results and get them the results that they're looking to get. Then it turns into a
Right.
partnership, right? For all intents and purposes. But I think that's what just marketing is, man, where people just see these people on the internet and like, oh, that's a great message. I'm gonna reframe it, reposition it, say it in a different way, and hope my stuff goes viral.
Right.
No, it's okay. Like, hey, can the message be authentic in a way that would help the former version of yourself? Because there's a lot of people out there that are just like you. They're
Yeah,
trying to get better. They're trying to have a better life for themselves, their family, whatever their situation is, right? So I think it's just that understanding. It was my background understanding marketing, but now like having you guys the ability to frame the message and pull the best out of me, I think has been a great partnership.
that's awesome, bro. Super, super awesome. Quick question, bro. How old are you again? Your age?
Yeah. As far as age, how old I am,
Yeah,
I'm 37. Unfortunately, I
37.
just turned 30. Yeah, just
Not
turned
even,
37
bro.
this
Come
year,
on.
man. It's like life comes at you fast. I'm closer
Yeah.
to 40 than 30.
Oh, bro, dude, come on, dude. 37, bro. You're still really young, man, I think.
Yeah.
Bro, okay, so question for you. TikTok is seen as this app that's like new school, like, oh, I don't think I could do it. Bro, right? 37 years old, you could have been the same way. You could have been like millennial, like, oh, I'm only on Facebook. I don't do the TikTok. Bro, you went in like very, very enthusiastic to TikTok. What have you learned about like what we did with your strategy on TikTok to really start getting you the results? Like, what was your thought process on that? Like, what were you kind of like fearing the process? Were you like, let's give it a shot, YOLO? Like, kind of talk to me like what that looked like, bro. I'm just curious.
Here's I mean, the truest answer is like it's the platform that I just had zero idea how to like crack.
Mm,
And I come from corporate America where we use a lot of LinkedIn, right? Like,
right.
I mean, Facebook was started when I was in college. And then in the day, Instagram, I've had some success over there as well too. I just couldn't figure it out, man.
Mm,
And look, man, I'm a firm believer. Like, you don't have to know it all if you can go to someone that's a subject matter expert, right? And just essentially use their knowledge, use their experience, use their resources and understanding of it, and just leverage that
sure.
for all intents and purposes. And I finally got to the point in my business where I felt I could use more leverage in the situation rather than trying to live in the trenches and figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
I did that on my own. Clearly, when you guys took it over, you could see it wasn't working,
Yeah.
right? So that's where I just came to play. And look, man, I think at the end of the day, it's like when you understand the end goal, right? Like, what's the goal in mind? You can get a little bit uncomfortable and put yourself in a situation where, yeah, it's not the easiest process to turn the camera around and film yourself and be able to communicate a thought, an idea, or a message that you maybe have never done before,
Right.
right? On a platform that is people that are 10 years younger than you, right? As you maybe point out.
Right.
So I'll pay you back for that at some point. But you look at that situation, right?
Yeah.
Um, I knew you guys had the credibility and expertise there because I had seen the results come before me.
Right.
It was now just me getting on my own way to go out and execute the plan that you guys put forth.
Right. Dude, that's awesome, bro. Yeah, tons of success you've seen on TikTok. And I know we had to really like tweak some stuff for you in the beginning. We saw some stuff that wasn't working month to one, month and a half-ish. And then we really pivoted, completely chopped down the strategy, made a whole new TikTok account for you. And that's where literally, bro, that one little tweak and then you just repping out that content, it completely just changed the whole game for you. So honestly, bro, thank you just for just being very, very like adaptable. Like I think that's the right word to use here. You were very adaptable with the process, and that allowed us to, usually, bro, some people it takes time for them to adapt. For you, bro, it was very quick, So that's really awesome, bro. Super, super stoked to hear that you're crushing it on there. And it's only gonna get better, 100%. Um,
Yeah.
so you've like you said, you've probably seen a lot of other marketing agencies. You've seen all the crazy results in the ads that probably get thrown onto your Instagram and stuff. Why Divine Reach? Why us? Just curious.
This is what I kind of mentioned at the very beginning, brother. The reality is what I appreciate about you guys is you just allow me to be myself, right? Because here's the reality. Say you go with somewhere else and they say, hey, we want you to be this type of person, right? We need you to be this avatar, this type of personality, and put forth XYZ message. Well, cool. Maybe you do that and you see some form of results.
Right.
What's going to happen when that clientele is now exposed to the real version of you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you've just lost all trust and credibility. And within our world, that's everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So rather than faking it for all intents and purposes, we got to the core root of who I am, right? I'm not anybody special by any means, but it's like, hey, who are we most qualified to help
Yeah,
through my life experiences where I've done some stuff, right? For all intents and purposes. Well, cool. Who is that? We identify who that person is. Now let's figure out who the message is. And cool, let's just go see if we can try to help some people. You know what I
100%.
mean?
Right.
And to your point, as far as pivoting on my side, I think you guys have been able to pivot as well too. As you look at some of your other clientele and stuff like that, like I'm very different than in some ways, right? Like everyone's the same for all intents and purposes, but like I have different backgrounds, different skill sets, different experiences that you were able to adapt to.
Right.
And then, okay, well, hey, here's where we're going to go moving forward. We're still learning, we're still growing, we're going to continue to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's where I've been appreciative of you guys. You've been super flexible
Yeah.
in that overall approach. And then just your team too, man. Like your team is super responsive. Within our world, it's like random Saturday night at whatever time, like if that's when we're free, like cool, like
Yeah.
let's chat it out, let's communicate, let's find a solution rather than just like, hey, trust the process, trust the process, trust the
Yeah.
process was what a typical agency is going to do. Hey, we'll get you a result at some point.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not working towards this path, let's find a new pathway,
Sure.
right? Which I appreciate about you guys. So hopefully that's concise enough, but
Yeah.
I think I appreciate you guys the most just for your overall approach.
Yeah, appreciate you too, bro. I really appreciate that. Um, as far as, I know a lot of agencies, they'll promise you like leads, but the way, we try to differentiate ourselves is we want to bring you who you actually want on your team. So I know that you asked me for military members, military audience, right? So were we able to get you those military
Yeah,
members?
100%. Yeah, like out of the 10 that are enrolled just this month alone, everyone has a background, either prior military or they're currently enlisted themselves, and they're either looking to earn more income or looking for that pathway on transitioning out of military into civilian world for all intents and purposes. And what I appreciate about that is like, look, like in our space, there's a lot of back and forth on qualifying someone and
Mhm.
understanding their current attributes and skill sets and so on and so forth. I know without a doubt the type of human for all intents and purposes I'm getting
Mhm.
on the front end because I mean in the military, like you've already been ingrained that from day one. You understand
Right.
work ethic, you understand discipline, you understand mental toughness, the ability to have a mission bigger than yourself, right? So clearly that's my past life, right? Several years ago, but now I know what that person can do.
Mhm.
It's just now repositioning the product and services that we offer within our firm.
That's awesome, bro. I'm so happy to hear that. Last question for you, bro. What would you say to somebody that's currently on the fence right now? They're watching this and they were just like you 3 months ago. They were skeptical. They were like, shoot, this is an investment to myself, my business. Like, should I do it? Should I not? Is it a good time? Is it not a good time? What do you have to say? Because that person's probably watching this video right now. What do you have to say to that person?
Time is never perfect for anything. That's just life, right? Like if you're waiting for the perfect time, like you're going to be waiting until you're dead. And you look at wherever you're at in business right now, if you're getting that next level, clearly what you're currently doing right now is not going to help you get to the future version of business owner, entrepreneur that you need to get to, right?
Really?
If this is a hole for you and it's a blind spot, rather than continue to have 6+ months of frustrations trying to figure it out your own,
Mhm.
just understand that there's additional resources out there that you can leverage in business. Now it has to make sense at that time too, right?
Yeah.
You can't leverage if you're in business for 30 days, right?
We get that. Yeah.
You have to be at a standpoint that is okay. Now I'm at the point where I can pull the lever, right? So now 10x in the next 12 months, which is could be a reality or whatever size that you're at. So I think it's just that, man. It's the fear is real. Don't get me wrong, because nothing is guaranteed in
Yeah.
life. That's
Yeah.
just life. That's business.
100%.
But look, if you don't take the investment and the chance upon yourself to get you where you want to go, you're never going to get there.
Facts. I love it, bro. Well, I appreciate your time, man. Where can they find you at? We're probably going to drop your social medias down below in the description so they can come check you out. Where can they find you at, man?
Yeah, I mean, Instagram is the easiest platform for me. Just first underscore last name. Now I'm on TikTok, so you can look me up on there as well too. LinkedIn, all the social platforms. It's all my name. I have a very unique name, so you'll pretty much find me.
Sweet, sweet. We'll drop it down below. Elliot underscore Critchfield, it sounds like. Hey, bro, I really appreciate your time. Thanks for everything, bro. And let's continue to dominate, man. I love it.